Welcome back to Sip&Talk. Great to have you with us again.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
So we've touched on China's market dynamics before, haven't we? But today we wanted to do a real deep dive. We've got some updated info, trying to give a really objective, full picture of this strategy people call, well, nurture, trap, kill.
Mm-hmm. That name itself, it's pretty stark. Definitely makes you curious about what it means for global business, right?
Totally. And the weird thing, the paradox, is that even with that name floating around, foreign companies are still pouring money in.
They really are. It's clearly a calculated risk, but one, many seem willing to take.
Yeah, it sounds like something out of a spy novel, nurture, trap, kill. But then you look at the first part, the nurture phase. Honestly, it sounds amazing for the companies.
How so?
Well, they get treated like absolute VIPs. Imagine landing there and getting offers like 15 years of rent-free land, massive tax breaks, and even help from the government to recruit your staff. It sounds incredibly welcoming.
In the Tesla Shanghai Gigafactory, back around 2018 to 2020, that's often cited as a prime example, isn't it?
Exactly. First wholly owned foreign factory, I think. And they got tons of support. China basically laid out the welcome mat.
Yeah, rolled out the red carpet to get that investment, that tech know-how.
It's like being invited for the best free tea ever. You feel super special, super welcome. But maybe you don't notice someone's kind of subtly clearing the table while you're enjoying the tea.
Huh. This is actually a pretty good way to put it. So, okay, let's break it down for this deep dive. We've got the nurture, then trap, then kill.
Right.
And we need to see it from both sides. From the Chinese perspective, well, it's often framed as a practical way to build up their own industries. Use foreign investment as a springboard.
Right, to boost local innovation, get the supply chains humming. Like how Tesla coming in arguably pushed companies like CATL with batteries or Luxshare.
Luxshare Precision, yeah. Push them to get better, faster.
Okay, but then the foreign view.
Well, from their side, it often feels predatory. Like, hey, you welcomed us in, used our investment in tech, and now you're squeezing us out, undermining their whole plan, basically.
Gotcha. So throughout this, we're going to try and keep it really objective, international perspective, just lay out the dynamics so you can think critically about it all. It's complex.
Definitely. Okay, so after that initial nurture phase where they've, made things comfortable, what's the trap? What does that actually involve?
Yeah. How does the mood change?
So this is where it gets tricky for the foreign firms. Once they're set up, have their operations running, local companies often start absorbing the technology, the expertise, sometimes even the key people.
How? How does that happen on the ground?
It can be through different ways. Sometimes it's, requirements for joint ventures, which makes transferring knowledge easier, or reverse engineering the products. Aggressively recruiting talent away from the foreign companies is another big one. There was a report, I think Bloomberg maybe in 2024, it talked about how BYD and other Chinese EV makers learned a lot by watching Tesla, adapting the model, and then rolling out their own, often cheaper EVs.
And the numbers there are pretty stark, aren't they? Tesla's market share, wasn't it like 20% back in 2020?
Yeah, around there.
And by April 2024, it would drop to just, 3.2%, while BYD shot up to over 34%. That's huge.
It is. And Tesla tried, right? Slashing prices, offering zero-interest loans, but it just didn't seem to stop that momentum shift.
Wow. So that's a pretty clear example of the local players really taking over.
Exactly. Rapid domestic acceleration. And it's not just EVs. We've seen similar things elsewhere.
Like what? Didn't you mention something about high-speed rail before?
Yes, exactly. Go back to, say, 2004 to 2010. China made deals with the big players, Siemens from Germany, Kawasaki from Japan.
Okay.
And part of those deals, reportedly, involved significant technology transfer requirements. Fast forward, and now China's own CRC is a global giant in high-speed rail. They're even exporting their tech now.
So they learned, integrated, and then became the competition, basically.
Pretty much. That import, integrate, re-export approach worked incredibly well there. Though, there are always questions around IP and how transparent that process was.
Yeah, sure. And solar panels too, right? Similar story.
Very similar. Around 2010, after learning a lot from U.S. and German solar tech, China just scaled up massively.
Yeah.
Now, Chinese companies make something like 80% of the world's solar panels.
80%. That's dominance.
It's a clear strategic pattern. Absorb the tech, then dominate the market.
Okay, so technology transfer is happening, local companies are getting stronger, then comes the kill phase. How does that manifest? Is it like overt policies?
Yeah, this is often where you see the policy environment really shift to actively favor the local brands. It can become incredibly hard for foreign firms to compete on a level playing field.
Like what kind of policies?
Well, things like subsidies for domestic players, buy local preferences in government procurement, sometimes even increased regulatory scrutiny or security reviews aimed more at foreign tech. We saw Huawei and Xiaomi grow rapidly, often with perceived government backing.
And established players felt the pinch.
Oh, yeah. Companies like Ericsson, Cisco, they saw their market share in China shrink quite a bit in their sectors. Even Apple, I mean, a giant like Apple.
Yeah, what happened with them?
They've faced more pressure, government stuff, security reviews, a push for local alternatives. Their market share in China dropped, what was it, nearly 25% year on year in the first quarter of 2024. They were like the only major phone brand shrinking there.
Wow. So it's not just market competition, it's an active strategic push.
It certainly looks that way, prioritizing the homegrown champions.
So what's the end result? Are companies actually leaving?
We have seen a trend of exits or scaling back. Reports mention companies like Intel, Samsung, VW shifting some production or investment focus away from China between 2023 and 2024. And data from Japan showed, I think, over 1,700 Japanese firms either left or downsized in China over the last 3 years or so. A U.S.-China Business Council report also showed a significant drop in American companies seeing China as their top investment spot. Something like 44% said it wasn't their primary focus anymore.
Okay. So if this pattern, nurture, trap, kill is pretty clear with all these examples, why? Why do companies keep going in? It feels a bit like knowing there's a trapdoor, but walking towards it anyway, saying, maybe this time it won't open. Or maybe, wow, that rug over the trapdoor looks really nice and profitable.
Well, you've kind of hit on it. It's the sheer, almost irresistible pull of the Chinese market, despite all the risks we've talked about.
It's the size of it.
Exactly. It's still the world's second largest economy. You've got, 400 million middle-class consumers?
Yeah.
That is a massive group of potential customers that global companies find incredibly hard to just ignore.
Right. You see brands like the luxury ones, BMW, Mercedes, LVMH, they make a huge chunk of their money there, don't they?
Over 40% of their revenue.
Yeah.
For many of them, yeah. And even Tesla, market share dropped, but think about the investment versus the return. They put in maybe $7 billion. But reports estimate they pulled in something like $86 billion in revenue, maybe $10–15 billion in net profit. So even if they get squeezed later, as one report put it, they'd already earned their fill. Made a killing, you might say, even before the kill phase fully hits them.
So some companies might just see it as get in, make hay while the sun shines, and get out.
Or hope to.
That could be part of the calculation for some.
Yeah.
It's not just pure profit potential, though. There's a complex mix, maybe some cognitive biases at play.
Like what?
Well, definitely FOMO, fear of missing out on that huge market. Maybe a belief that, okay, it happened to them, but our product, our strategy is different, will be the exception.
Right, the it won't happen to me syndrome. Exactly. Or just the inertia. Once you're deeply invested, pulling out is really difficult and costly. There was a KPMG survey, I recall, where over half of foreign execs admitted the profit pressure in China outweighed their risk control worries.
Wow. So they know the risks, but the lure of the profit is stronger.
For many, yes. Some might even see China as a kind of cash cow to fund operations elsewhere, even if they know it's not a secure long-term bet.
And maybe past successes play into it. Like Volkswagen did incredibly well there for ages.
That's a great point. That historical success definitely created a blueprint, maybe led newer companies to think they could replicate it. But, as we've seen, the game has changed quite a bit. The competition is tougher, the policies are different.
So putting it all together, this whole nurture, trap, kill thing, it's not really a simple good guy, bad guy story, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
More like a strategic dance, maybe. You've got foreign companies, often driven by quarterly results and short-term profits. And you've got China playing a longer game, aiming for technological independence and upgrading its industries, using that foreign investment as fuel.
And the money involved keeps the dance going. That lure of 400 million consumers, BMW, Benz, LVMH, making nearly half their money there, Tesla's billions in profit despite the later squeeze. It's hard to walk away from.
It's undeniably powerful, even if the risks are clear.
And those market share numbers really tell the story of how effective the strategy can be from China's perspective. Tesla dropping from 20% to 3%, while BYD rockets to 34%. Apple falling 25% in a quarter against Huawei and Xiaomi. These are massive shifts.
Huge shifts. And again, not just in these high-profile tech sectors. Remember CRRC and high-speed rail, they learned from Siemens and Kawasaki. Now they dominate globally.
Right. And the solar panel industry, 80% global production now in China after absorbing U.S. and German tech. It's a consistent playbook across key industries.
Which naturally has led to reactions from other countries.
Yeah. What's been the international response? Obviously, the U.S. has been quite vocal.
Definitely. We've seen significant U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, rounds of 10%, 25%, covering hundreds of billions of dollars worth of imports.
And that CFI-US thing, right, blocking some deals.
Exactly. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFI-US, has gotten much stricter, scrutinizing Chinese investments, especially in high-tech sectors, for national security risks and blocking acquisitions.
Is it just the U.S. pushing back?
Oh, no. The European Union has also been critical. They've raised concerns about Chinese subsidies, market access issues, filed complaints at the WTO, used anti-dumping measures.
And they're looking into Chinese EVs now specifically, aren't they?
Yes. There's an ongoing anti-subsidy investigation into Chinese electric vehicles, which could lead to tariffs. And other countries too, Australia, Germany, others, they've all been tightening scrutiny on foreign investments, particularly from China. It signals a definite global trend towards, let's say, more guarded trade policies.
So, given all this, the way trade winds are blowing globally, and seeing how this strategy has clearly worked to build up domestic giants like BYD or CATL, it leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? Thinking about the listener here, what's the long-term impact of this model going to be on global innovation, on competition worldwide? And maybe, how can foreign companies adapt? Is there a way to engage beyond just chasing those immediate profits, knowing the potential endgame?
Those are the core questions, really. And here at Sip&Talk, our goal is just to lay out the fact, the different perspectives, as objectively as we can.
Absolutely. No agenda, no criticism of any country or group. We just want to provide the information so you can think through these really complex global issues for yourself.
Precisely.
Well, that's our deep dive for today. Hope you found it insightful. If you did, please do subscribe to Sip&Talk on whatever platform you use. We'd love to have you back for more surprising insights.
And we also want to give a shout out to our old friend Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickytolife.
Oh, yeah. Mickey's channel is great. Lots of fun stuff. Memes, music, wine tasting, travel vlogs. Really diverse. Check it out, Mickytolife on YouTube.
Definitely worth a look. And Mickey also wanted us to pass on a message specifically for our listeners in Taiwan.
Right. Mickey wanted to remind everyone there about the recall vote happening on July 26th. Just a reminder to get out and make your voice heard, show public opinion.
Yeah, important civic engagement reminder there. So thanks again for tuning in, everyone.
We'll talk to you again soon on Sip&Talk.